society. In a way, doesn't this all add up to saying that cigarettes are like poison for your body?
Hello, my name is Shirley Dorsa. Welcome to Survival Skills in the 80s. When you hear the term numerology, do you sometimes wonder what it's all about? Have you ever questioned how numbers, or to be more specific, how your number might affect you in the universal plan of things? Well, we have with us this evening Francoise Netter. She is a numerologist in the Bay Area, and she's going to talk to us tonight and perhaps answer some questions that we've all had regarding numerology. We'd like to welcome you, Francoise, to our show.
Hi, Shirley.
Hi. What is numerology, Francoise, and can you tell us how does it work?
Well, that's a big question. Numerology is, in a scientific way, the science of numbers, and what it helps us do is understand ourselves and our world, and it's a tool, a vehicle for making us more powerful in our lives, so that we're not just victims.
Right.
So it's a tool of understanding.
Well, you give readings, right? Is that right?
Right.
And what types of people come to you for these numerological readings?
It's a hard one to say.
It's a hard word to say, I know. We'll get it straight.
Well, Shirley, as I've done charts for people from all walks of life. It's been used in the classroom. I've done business charts. I've done it for corporate executives, for psychics, and I've sent charts around the world as far as India and Hawaii. And really anyone can use it. Absolutely anyone from every walk of life.
How do you think people that come to you benefit from numerology?
Well, as I said, the most important thing about numerology is that it's a tool, a vehicle. It's not a crutch. It will not take care of your entire life. But I don't know if you've noticed in your life, certainly in mine, there are certain things that might occur to me that get to be very frustrating. And I don't know how to deal with it. There are things that I think that I have control over and things that I don't.
Right.
And so what it helps you do is understand the situations that come up in your life. Let me give you an example. I know a woman that used it with her children in school. And what she did is, and we'll talk about how numerology is, but she added the numbers of their birth date. And she saw that each individual was unique. And so she was able to deal with each child differently. It gave her an added insight into that child. So to answer your question again, it gives you insight into who you are and how you can solve the problems in your life instead of just, again, being a victim.
Okay, and what can we as individuals learn from numerology?
Well, you can learn what your career is. Let's say you're confused about your career and you think you're not really living up to your potential. So it can illuminate that area of your life. It can look at the relationships in your life. It can look at how some of us may start a life in many, many directions. In other words, some people have always wanted to have schooling. And they get denied it. Let's say if you were brought up in Germany during the war and you had to stop school at the age of 16. So it gives you an understanding of why those experiences occurred. Okay, so it teaches you the lessons that you have in life. It teaches you, as I said, about your career, about your relationships. It can look at your past, your present, your future, and it also gives you the tool for understanding what occurs to you and how you can then create your future the way you want it to be.
I see. I've heard people say, you know, talking about numerology, I'm a 5 or I'm a 6, or are people numbers or are they a series of numbers, and what happens in that area?
Well, how numerology works is that I would take, let's say I was taking your chart, I was going to do a chart on you. I would look at your birth date, and then I would look at your name on your birth certificate.
Okay.
And then I would compose a chart from that. And from that chart, I might as well take one out. We're jumping ahead, but why not? I have an example.
You can show us a little bit about
what I have here is the birth date. And so what you get is a birth force number.
Okay.
And that number signifies your potentials in life, your childhood. It looks at the way your talents will be expressed in life. Okay? It weaves the fabric of your life.
It looks pretty complicated. Is it always that extensive?
It can be. It can be. Yes, it is. It's not like you're just one number. So when people say, I'm a number 3, that often what they're talking about is the addition of their birth date.
Okay.
Okay, so you're not just one number. And then what you would take is the name on the birth certificate, And then you would break that down into 4 more numbers.
Okay.
And then it would go on from there. So to answer your question, there is not just one number, but a lot of people think that there is.
Okay. When people come to you for have their chart done or have a reading done, is there a series of readings, or is there one reading that you give? How does that work? Can you explain that to us?
Sure. There's lots of different ways that you can have readings done. One is to have what I call a full reading, and it's called a life reading.
Okay.
And what we deal with is all aspects of the person's life. It takes 2 hours, so it's very extensive, and I always tape the reading so that it's not, you don't have to take it into your brain and remember it all. And the most important thing for that also is that it's a vehicle for self-understanding and for unfolding. So that's one way, is to have a personal reading, which is a life reading. I also do mini readings, which will take about half an hour, and this will look at specific areas of your life.
Okay.
And then I also do business charts, and I do relationship charts between 2 people.
So you get a
there's-
lot of call for relationship charts, is that right? Yeah.
Do you know, actually, Shirley, people really, the main areas that people always want to know about their life is relationships, career, and self-expression. Money.
Money, I know. That's the next question I was going to ask is what do people really want to know? Is there something that, is it past, future, or present? What do they kind of want you to concentrate on at that, in the
Well,
reading?
I think people come for different reasons. One person came to me who happens to own my favorite restaurant in the area. He owns a chain of restaurants, and he's wonderful. And his mate gave him the reading as a chart. And so he came to me as a complete skeptic. And what happened was that the chart unveiled so much of his past that he had never told anyone, and really fit in with so many of things that he had never talked to anybody about, including his future and the present, that he then brought me, he brought me his mother, his father, his sister, and all his clients, and it was, you know, real wonderful. So people don't always know what they want to know, because sometimes they're gifts. But a lot of times people want to know, am I going in the right direction? They may be confused about a particular issue in their life, like their career, like why things aren't working out. Or someone may just want to unfold more understanding. You know, I think it's real important to utilize the tools that are available to us.
Right. That would be a nice gift to give someone, wouldn't it? Psychic reading, or a reading.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there a value to a particular number? Like, does 9 have a value, 6 have a number? Can you talk to us about that?
About the numbers themselves,
Yes.
yes. Numerology is set up to look at numbers very much like computers, from 1 to 9. Okay, so that's your base. It's on the base of 9. And then you have, like everything else in life, exceptions to the rule. And those exceptions are the number 11, the number 22, and the number 33. And then there are 4 other numbers that are 13, 14, 16, and 19. And they're looked at a little bit differently. Would you like me to explain some of the values?
If you would, could you do that?
Do you have some favorite numbers, or should I?
Yeah. What about 5? I heard that was a money number. Now I'm not sure. Is that true? Is there any value in that?
Astrology.
Right. Yeah. Little knowledge.
Why don't I start with 1 and give you all the way to 9? And because 5 is an interesting number. It is the bridge. It's it's the number of mankind. But why don't we start with 1?
Okay.
1 is the number of the initiator. It's the number of the creator. And people who have 1 prominent in their chart really have to learn how to stand on their own 2 feet. They have to learn how to be individuals and to accept their uniqueness and their individuality. And yet, a lot of 1s may have problems with their will. So what they have to do is learn how to often flow. At the same time, they may find themselves in, especially in early childhood, dealing with very authoritarian figures. So they have to learn how to deal with their will as well as the will of others.
Like number 1, being alone, standing alone. Is
Exactly, and that's often a lesson. See, in other words, let's say one of your main numbers was 1. That may not be the easiest thing for you to be that. So it's something that you want to grow into, or that is important for you, the lessons that become very important for you to personify in your life.
Right.
Okay, and then the number 2 is, if you look at it, it's kind of a rounded number. It's the number of cooperation. It's very sensitive. Often people who, men who are born with, let's say, a 2 on their birth force, may have a difficult time with that unless they integrate their femininity, their softness, their expressiveness. Often people who have 2s in their chart are very musical. They often love dance. It's really the number of dance. And they have to learn how to be peacemakers. Okay, the number 3 is the number of creativity and the number of sexuality. But it is using your sexuality to express. And what happens is that if a person who has 3 in their chart does not use it in either a creative way, an expressive way, it can often become negative, and then it comes out in repressions in the body or in anger. So whenever someone has a 3 in their chart, you want to really emphasize, especially children, have them express it, have them dance, have them paint, have them be dramatic. The number 4, if you look at it, is made up all straight lines, right?
Yeah.
And it is the number of building. So you have your very practical people. The child who would be a 4 birth voice would be the person who would hold on to his crib before walking. You know, very pragmatic. Now 5. 5 is the number of adventure. It is the number of change and travel and experiencing things. It is often what we would call the multidimensional person. So someone who can do a lot of things at the same time, who has a lot of irons in the fire. And they learn through their experience. But the most important thing about the 5 is to finish things.
Is that right?
Yes. To not only initiate them, but to finish them, and to not be a rolling stone that gathers no moss, but to truly learn from their experiences. Now, the number 6 is the number, the mother and the daddy of the universe. And you will find them as the caretakers. They often are nurses, chiropractors, doctors, massage therapists who have 6s in their charts. They can be excellent healers and counselors.
Maybe we should stop here because I have to say that Francoise is going to do a little mini reading of me, and maybe we could get that in to just kind of show what can happen. And maybe you can tell us what your number is and what my number is. And
well, I just happen to have a little mini reading on you, Shirley. Okay, Shirley's your birth force is an 8. Okay, and this is again.
We didn't get to 8 yet. Maybe you can mention what 8 is.
Yeah, you have a few of these new numbers. Actually, you just go up to 8. 8 is the number of. If you look at it, it's a wonderful number, and it's the one most misunderstood. If you look at it, it's the number of infinity. And what 8s have to learn is how to balance in their life, okay? Because if they don't balance, they're always going to be spinning their wheels. And this is very, very important. If you look at a little rat in the cage, you know, spinning the wheels, so you have to learn how to take that upper loop and really integrate it with the lower loop. Okay, it's the number of money.
Okay, is it?
Yes, it is. It's the number of prosperity, but you need to accept that prosperity in all areas of your life.
Okay.
It is often the number of very high-powered people, people who have to learn how to make an effort and make an effect in the world. Often these people are workaholics. They're always going. I have a lot of 8s in my chart. They talk fast. They move from one subject to another.
I hate to leave, but I can see by the signals we're getting that we have to close. But I want to thank you so much. It was not only just interesting, but a lot of fun too. And it was very much appreciated. And I want to thank you for being with us, and you are very much appreciated. And please come back and be with us again.